Okay, test number 3. Review, my friends. Advantage of LED lights. Why should anybody spend money on LED lights? FYI, guys, theory test is going to be from chapter 6 through chapter 10. 6 to 10. Remind me if I need to look at homework, guys, today. So 6 to 10. 6 through 10. LED advantage. Why should we do an LED? AFCI locations, places where needs AFCI. Where do I need AFCI? In a house. I hope by now we know him. In a clothes closet. In a clothes closet, guys, remember that minimum distances for all these lighting fixture, different type of lighting outlets. The clothes closet, make sure you know all these distances. There are two distances. One is 6 and one is 12. 6 is for surface mounted fluorescent to LEDs. Everything else is 12, right? I mean 12 is for surface mounted incandescent or LEDs. Everything else is 6 inches. If you are to use this fixture as a conduit, this fixture has to be listed as, can I bring an air handling unit feeder through this fixture? Unless the fixture is listed as a conduit, for feed through conduit. Okay, ceiling suspended. Every time you have a box that you need to suspend, support a fan, a ceiling fan from it, the box have to be, you can't just support from any box. The box have to be listed for what? Make sure you know that. This one might confuse you guys. Picking, and I know that's kind of off the wall, but I'm giving it to you. Picking the right fan for the square foot of the room. When I say the right fan, is it 42 inches or 46 inches? Could you please review that one? That's not a non-electrical. So picking the right fan, as in the length of the fan, 42 or 46, for the square foot of the room. I think it's right into the book that talks about fans. If you couldn't find it by tomorrow, ask me. The right fan for the square foot of the room. How do you do that? It tells you this, like 42 can cover up to 300 square foot or something. The diameter, yep. The following type of lights, guys, make sure you understand the type of white that comes, the white light that comes out of the following 3 types of light sources. Okay, they're all white. Halogen, LED, and fluorescent. Fluorescent, I can tell you fluorescent, you can get warm light, right? We could get so many lights, white light, white warm, natural warm, soft warm, and all this good stuff. All these, I believe it's in 7-2, I think. So there's a table 7-2, it talks about the type of light that comes out of these 3 sources: halogen, LED, and fluorescent. GFCI locations in a house. Please know all the GFCI locations. Question: can I put a GFCI inside the tub? In the tub? Bathtub? Can I do that? In the bathtub? No, you can't. In the tub, unless it's part of listed assembly. So focus on that one. The length of a fixture web is 7 feet, 6 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet. Length of a fixture web. Everybody knows what a fixture web is. You tie it to the fixture, to the box. You have a fan. You guys remember how, and that's also off the wall, but a fan, in the winter and the summer, you turn the fan clockwise or counterclockwise because it pushes the air up and down. Please study that one. If in the winter or in the summer, do you need the air to be pushed down or pulled up? Can you study that one?
Yeah, the book doesn't make it very clear at all. It conflicts with hot air rising.
Hot air rising. Well, we all agree that.
Do that.
Yeah.
No matter what the book says.
Yeah. We'll do it as, long story short, if it's in the winter, hot air rises. So what do you need to push the air down, right?
Right.
Push the air down in the winter. In the summer, you need to pull the air up.
How do you keep positioning of French?
Just, it doesn't clock and counterclockwise, just up or down in the air. Replacing receptacles in an area that need the GFCI. They give you a couple of options. They say, what type of receptacle do you need to, can you replace this non-grounding receptacle with? And multiple options. If the position need a GFCI, then your receptacle have to be GFCI. Replacing a non-grounding receptacle with another receptacle. Your option is you replace with non-grounding, or with grounding, and you have to bring the grounding conductor with it, or with GFCI. But if the location is a GFCI, for example, take a bathroom. You need to replace a non-grounding receptacle in the bathroom. What is the only receptacle that you can install there? GFCI. You can't put another non-grounding. Because it's in the bathroom, you have to be GFCI. The tamper-resistant receptacle, guys, have an exception in 2011. Exceptions. All the receptacle in residential dwellings have to have a tamper-resistant. There are exceptions. Do you guys remember these exceptions? I can give you one of them. If it was part of a luminaire, or if it's higher than 5 feet, 5.5, higher than 5.5. So make sure you study these 4 exceptions. There's questions about them. The what? The second. Repeat it. Okay. Exceptions for tamper-proof receptacles. The exceptions. Where do we need them? By the way, we need them everywhere. But what are the exceptions? That's only 2011. Before that, there used to be no exceptions. Now in 2011, they came up with 4 or 5 exceptions.
They make a tamper-proof non-grounding receptacle.
No.
So you should have a lot then when
You replace it with with the GFCI, I guess. A GFCI, tamper-resistant. That's an option. Even though it's an exception. That's also an exception. If you look at the exception, that's also an exception. Yeah, because they don't make it. But you could have solved it with a GFCI. If you have a luminaire that needs to go in wet location, the luminaire has to be elevated for wet location. Sliding glass panels. Do the sliding glass panels count when you count the feet for receptacles? If they're sliding, they don't count. If they're fixed, they count. Okay, just remember that. Okay, now by code, and I don't want you to get confused now. I told you guys don't put more than 10 receptacles or 10 lights in one circuit, right? Everybody get that one? But by code, in residential, is there anywhere in the code that tells you how many receptacles you can put in a circuit in residential? No. In the code, based on the code, not the good design, based on the code, there's nothing in the code that tells you how many receptacles you can fit. You can put on one circuit. Why? Because in commercial, when you move to commercial, we allow 180 volt amp for this receptacle. Now this receptacle being residential, we have no idea. The code does not tell us. Would that suck 50 volt amp, 180 volt amp? So just remember, for residential, really you can put unlimited amount of receptacles on the circuit. Unlimited. I know I told you 10, so don't get confused with that one. Even if you put 10, I will give it to you. But for code, you really can't put unlimited amount. What does a double insulated equipment means? double insulated equipment, right? You don't have a grounding, they have just hot and neutral, double insulated. What's the tripping range of a GFCI? Tripping range of GFCI in milliamps, 4 to 6 milliamps. Do you guys remember that restricted area above the bathtub? Where you cannot have suspended fan in the 3 feet away from the top, 8 foot up high, 3 away up high, 8. Can I install a recessed fixture in this range? Recessed. Or surface mounted if it's wet location? Yes. Suspended? No. Can I put a fan? A fan as an exhaust fan, not a pedal fan. Surface mounted or recessed pedal fan, not pedal fan, exhaust fan, yeah, no problem. As long as it's rated for wet location. Okay? So I don't want you to get confused. The question would be, could you put a recessed fixture or surface mounted fixture or fan in that zone? Yes, you could, if they're rated for wet location. The life expectancy of LEDs, just remember that one. Life expectancy of LEDs.
What are you saying?
Yeah.
I'm saying, when I'm thinking
Range.
LEDs, I'm saying 50,000 pounds.
Yeah.
But like here,
There's a range given. Just remember slightly the range. And if you got confused, ask me. I don't like to remember numbers. But it's not going to be 10,000 hours. Right? It's going to be in the 50 plus range. You're right. The accent light, the one that makes Chad a pop star, right? How many times the light on me should be more than the light around me to make me stand out? You guys go to the accent light, it will tell you, is it 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times? You know, when people are singing, they focus a lot at them and everything is dark, right? So there's a multiplier, either 3, 4, or 5. Check that one. Everybody's following what I'm talking about? How much light you have to put on an object to make that object stand out compared to the surrounding. That's it. Really easy test. Make sure you guys also know the circuits for the bathroom. How many circuits? 2 circuits for the 1 circuit for the bathroom, 2 circuits for the kitchen, small appliances circuits, things like that. Any question, guys? Any question for Chad? Our test is going to be on Wednesday. Let me see